You've probably heard you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but can we? Kids instinctively know how to pick themselves up and try again until they figure it out. So why do we grow out of tenacity? And can we teach our kids to learn and maintain their perseverance? What can the old dogs learn from these young pups? Let's talk to some people who are committed to teaching just that today on Hometown. I love stories of people who have achieved remarkable feats against all odds. The scientists who persist through countless failures to unlock a groundbreaking discovery. The athlete who pushes physical limitations to claim an unexpected victory. The artist who paints stroke by stroke over decades until one day it's a masterpiece. But perseverance isn't limited to the grand outcomes. No matter how young or old you are, you can develop a quiet resilience that empowers us to stand tall in adversity. You can practice a mindset that encourages tenacity, an essential tool for a happy, healthy life. Today, we find our inspiration right here at home. Joining us are two inspiring people who work with our community's children. They bring their own grit and commitment to nurturing this essential gift in our kids. Let's explore perseverance, an important ingredient in the remarkable story of us.
Hi, I'm Julie here at Pioneer Park, and we're going to be talking about an awesome activity of fencing, and I would like to introduce everyone to Robert. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Nice to see you now that you have your helmet off. So here we are on Hometown, and we're wanting to share about a cool activity here in Walla Walla. And Robert Tabasco, welcome, and tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with fencing.
Well, I have had fencing be a major part of my life for a majority of my life. When I was a little guy, between 8 and 10 years old, my parents noticed that I really only cared about He-Man and Thundercats, and they felt the theme of a magic sword kind of was something they could lean into a little bit, and they looked up and there was a fencing studio driving distance, and so they got me involved with that, and it stuck.
And you liked it?
And I liked it, and here I am.
That's awesome. So you've been fencing all your life?
I've been fencing all my life, in varying degrees of intensity, depending on what my circumstances were.
So tell me about being in high school and fencing. What was it like for you going through adolescence and having an activity like this?
It was great. There's something that's not necessarily referenced a lot, but while you're growing, you have 3 aspects that are constantly changing: your strength, your speed, and your coordination. You could be a 12-year-old that's really fast, and then you have a growth spurt, and your feet are, an inch larger.
Size 14 suddenly.
Yes, yeah, and then you're not as fast. Yeah. You have to relearn how your body works with every little stage that you do. And while you're in those times of rapid growth, it's great to have a physical activity just to help you relearn and stay comfortable in your body as it's growing and changing.
So as we talk a little bit about this today, tell me a little bit about resilience, what you've learned with fencing.
Well, fencing is a sport where you really need a lot of resilience, and it will pull into your emotional resilience.
Because why? You're tired, or you're anticipating what the next person's going to do?
Not necessarily. So the swords will break before you hurt the other person. And they will break without any sharp edges, even though they're metal. So we are sword fighting without worrying about hurting somebody else.
Correct.
So versus being in a martial arts class where you might learn if somebody throws a punch at you, you can dodge it and grab their wrist and overextend their arm and break their elbow.
Right.
but you're not ever going to do that.
No.
They'll explain how to break an elbow and then say, go spar that guy.
Right. But you stop.
But you stop.
You stop. Right.
Right. So we're not stopping. We're really doing it. We're in a sword fight. Just the swords won't hurt them.
Right.
Right. So you are doing that. You're going through that sword fight. But then when you get hit, you have to stop the action. And then you have to call out. In that moment, you were better than me and you scored. And it's just you and one other person.
So realizing that moment where it's over.
Yeah, that moment, it's over. And I tell my students, fencing is a very polite sport. Manners matter to us. And it is just way too rude and unheard of to say, halt, I hit you. If that's my point, I hit you. It's just not done. That's rude. If you think you hit and they don't say anything, the polite thing to do is just consider that they must not have felt it. And you have to hit them harder. Yeah.
So what about persistence, Robert? When persistence is part of fencing, what does that mean to you?
Persistence is, well, if you're doing something and it works, keep doing it. Right? And so you can keep going and keep hitting someone the same way. But if you keep getting hit, you don't want to get hit the same way twice.
No. So you kind of learn.
So you got to learn, and you got to think, okay, what's going on? What are we doing? And we talk a lot about that in my classes. What I try to reference to my students is walking. We all learn to walk at about 1. So at 42, I have 41 years of experience just walking. And so if you were to go and do something new, come and take a fencing class at 42 with 41 years of experience doing one thing, physically, and you're at a certain level of that at walking, you don't have to think about what foot you pick up when you walk, you just do it. And then you go take a fencing class or a jazz class or whatever, and then you're not good like you are walking and you're doing something physical. And even with fencing, you go on guard, yet your stance.
Right.
And our front foot is always our front foot, and our back foot is always our back foot. And when you take your step, you start with your front foot, and then your back foot comes forward, but it stays shoulder distance apart. When you're just walking normal,
you don't walk like that.
No, you start with your back foot. It crosses your front foot and becomes your new front foot.
So you're learning something different. So it's the persistence of going, I really want to do this, and I want to try this, and I want to keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and accepting that you look and feel ridiculous and leaning into that.
Yeah.
And there's some activities, and I still have trouble with that. When I started teaching, I would see people struggling with it, and I'm like, yeah, you're in a class.
Yeah.
So
Go
what?
for it.
Like, if you knew how to do it, you'd be teaching the class. But you're a student in the class. So yeah, you don't know how to do it. And so I decided I needed to remember what that was like. So I would alternate between taking a dance class until I got familiar with those motions.
Sure.
And then I'd take a martial arts class until I got familiar with those motions and go back into dance. And so I was never any good at any of those.
But you were trying, and you were trying to do something different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I could then address my students and understand what they were going through and what that issue was.
Right.
And, really help them lean into that.
But I think that's an important part of where we are in life, because everybody's different. And so I'm blessed with 7 fingers. And so I have learned how to do things in my life just by trying. So people will say to me, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, my deal is, well, you've got to try. So you probably have students who are coming to you and going, well, I've never done this before. So what do you tell them?
It's a good time to start.
Yeah.
People have been worried, or people have come in and saying, I want to do this like Star Wars. And I go, well, it's a little different. But,
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah. You got to start somewhere.
So tell me about baby Vio. You were sharing about an incredible fencer.
So there are 3 styles of fencing: foil, epee, and saber. Each have a different history and a different target.
And we're holding sabers.
And we're holding saber. And then they have para fencing as well. And para fencing has foil, epee, and saber, but it doesn't have the 14-meter strip that you fence on, there are chairs without backs. So instead of, moving up and down the strip, it's leaning forward
and backward.
backwards. And, they're doing the same thing. It's just more blade work heavy. And Bebe Veto is a Italian champion parafencer who does not have legs beyond her knees, and she does not have hands.
So speaking about ranks, tell me where you were in your fencing career. Obviously, you're still in your career, but when you were competing.
I'm not competing anymore, but there was a point where, I decided I was going to push myself and train as hard as I could and worked as hard as I could. And I had 2 jobs and saved up to go to all the nationals events I could go to. And it can be tough to, work hard and save up a bunch of money. And
if you don't have the funding.
If you don't have the funding and go to Hoboken, New Jersey, and then, not even look at the sites that they have there. Just go
fencing.
Just go to the tournament. And I made about 2/3 of the national events that year, and I was ranked 20th in the country.
Really? Robert, that's fantastic. Well, we're so glad that you and your wife are here in Walla Walla and your family and Parks and Rec. And you are, people can go to the website for more information there. And you're gonna show me how this all works. And thank you so much, Robert, for being here with us today. So I'm so excited, Robert. So we are geared up. What are we wearing here?
We are wearing the fencing jacket, the glove, and the mask. The mask safety gear is self-explanatory. You get hit in the face, it's not going to hurt you. And the sword's not going to get through there.
And look, I've got a brand new glove, and let me see your glove. See, people, he's a professional, but you need to get a new glove, Robert.
I do.
This is really nice.
The glove protects you from having a sword go up your sleeve, and the jacket is thick in case a sword were to break.
And I have it back here.
With a sharp edge.
Okay.
But they are designed to bend to relieve pressure, and if there is too much pressure, to snap without a sharp edge. I've had a sword break on my chest, and then the stub hit me on my neck, and I didn't even get a scratch.
Okay.
So just in case there is a defect in the sword, which I have never seen in the 30 years I've been fencing, the jacket would not be cut through.
And this is a different sword that we had. We had the saber, and this is actually a...
And this is the foil.
This is the foil.
This is the foil.
Okay.
The saber is a little bit different.
Okay. Well, should we put and the saber is what we were holding earlier.
Yes.
And that, so that covers the hand. Okay. So Robert, you showed us the outfit, the protective gear. So what about holding the saber?
Saber target is waist up. So your body here, your head, your arms, and your hands are target. And you hit with the flat of the sword. It comes from how you would sword fight on horseback. So because the target is here to here, we have our hand low and our point up high. And so you have a wall here. You can be attacked really from your left side, from your right side, and from your head. So we go on guard protecting our right side because it's closest to our own attack here. And so to make sure that any attack coming from this side doesn't get you, we don't hold our sword in the middle where we have to worry about going in all 3 directions. We just close off one of those directions. So hand at your hip to the outside of your hip and point at eye level. So you know any attack coming this way won't get you. If an attack's coming this way, you roll this curved portion of the bell, which protects your hand because it's still target, over to face where that blade is coming at you, and still hand at your hip, point at eye level, so you have a wall of your steel here for that blade to hit here. And if it's coming down at your head, you lift your bell up to just above eye level, so an attack coming down here will get stopped here. And you want your elbow in towards your body here, because if you stick it out, could just get hit right there. And we really want to try and lift that bell up versus just going into the position. If we were to just do this, we would just be drawing a rainbow over their attack, but we want to meet it and close that line, is what we say. So on guard, parry number 4, parry number 5. and this is actually 6. So 4, 5, 6.
So can you show us something that incorporates all of that you just shared with us in some pattern, or I don't know the correct term to use. So, okay.
Can I use you?
Sure, yeah, sure.
So this is a saber parry drill.
Okay,
So go ahead and go on guard with your feet.
okay, so I'm on guard with my feet.
Show where I'm going to cut.
Okay.
You're going to be in that position.
Okay, there,
And then I'll cut.
okay,
And I show where I'm going to cut.
and then I come here.
Right there.
Okay, 1, 2,
So-
3, got it, okay,
And then I'll show where I'm going to cut.
and then I come up there.
Right.
Okay,
And so a parry drill.
woo! Hey,
Right.
got it.
Good job.
Got it, thank you. Robert, thank you so much for the demonstration today on fencing.
You're welcome.
And if you would like to learn more about fencing, go to Parks and Recreation website and show us how to end, Robert.
Salute. Point your saber up, and then swoosh.
And swoosh. Bye.
All right, hi, Jen. I'm so glad to be chatting with you today. This is Jen Jordan, and she is working with the Children's Museum here in Walla Walla. What's your official title?
I'm the president of the board.
A great title and a lot of responsibility. Well, I've loved the Children's Museum for probably about as long as it's existed, I think, because my oldest child is going to be turning 20 this year. So when did it start?
2004.
Yeah, that would be about right. And just loved going there. It's still a great place. But how did you become acquainted with it?
The then president was retiring. So it was my second meeting because we would alternate, my husband and I. So every month it would
Every other one you would go.
right, because we have small children at home. And he said, "Okay, it's your turn to go." And it was my second meeting. And the board was like, "Okay, well, we need a new president. Who's going to do it? Would you like to do it? You have experience with business. You know about children. You helped with the website." So,
No way, you just jumped in.
my
Okay.
second meeting.
I love it.
Yep.
So that makes me think about, what kind of a person you are that you would just be like, yes, I'm in there and I'm going to do it. Give me a little bit more about your background because it's kind of varied, right?
Yeah. I got my master's degree in education with a focus on technology in the classroom.
Okay, yeah.
So once I got my master's, I was in the classroom for a little while longer, and I said, you know what? I think it's time to take a break and do my own thing. So I became an entrepreneur, and I started doing a short-term rental management company in Philadelphia. Around that time, I got married, and my husband joined the team. So he and I were working together, running the business and really scaling it. At one point, we had about 80 properties. So it was really bustling.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
Ew.
Yes, so tourism and vacations and hospitality kind of took a pause.
Absolutely.
So my husband said, I need to go back into marketing and do something that's varied. We can't both be in the same industry. We both can't have the same business.
Makes sense.
So we need to diversify our
When
family.
something happens, there's still somebody with an income.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was applying all over, and we moved to Walla Walla. He got a job opportunity here.
That feels just so courageous to me. Seriously. I know I lived, my family, we all transported to the East Coast to Tennessee for about 6 years. And wow, that was such a huge cultural change for us. So I can only imagine.
Yes, a huge cultural change, and also just a different location, and it was very.
The weather's different,
everything.
the landscape's different. Yeah.
And we came during a time when things were closed.
When did the museum open? How long did it remain closed during that era?
I don't quite know,
Okay.
but we started going around 2020, end of 2021, I think. That sounds about right, when
Yeah.
things started opening up.
So there are some things that are very appealing about the museum that would draw you to it with young kids. Let's talk about some of that stuff that's just great there.
Yeah, so at the museum, there are tons of exhibits. We have a kitchen, a little medical room, which rotates between a dentist's office or a doctor's office or a veterinary clinic. Then we have another rotating exhibit we had at one point. it was like a farm
Yes.
themed exhibit. And then we had was more of a grocery store, and now currently it's the bug room. So it kind of rotates out.
That's great for kids. Oh, they love bugs. It's
Bugs
amazing.
and bees. We have a room that has trains and large blocks to build. There's a teepee that Wild Horse Casino donated the funds to have that exhibit, and also the large teepee outside.
Yes.
And it is a regional teepee from this area.
Yes.
So I think that's very cool. Then we have a toddler room for smaller children with a rug and a shatterproof mirror, very low so children can see themselves. We have an interactive board where children can, buckle buckles or tie ties or zipper zips or ring bells or lock door, like do like a little lock.
Yes.
So we have one of those, and we have like a little car they can play in, and we have a mirror room where they can experiment and play with mirrors. And we have a few funhouse mirrors and a kaleidoscope where they can interact with a large scale kaleidoscope. We have a light room where it's a light bright, so there's the pegs that go in,
So they can do their artwork with lights.
and it's a black light. So if you're wearing something that's fun, you see yourself glow.
Yes.
And then the outdoor space, we have a large yard. We have a fire engine where the kids can climb in the cab.
And everyone loves a fire engine.
They do.
Yeah.
And we have a firehouse with all of the fire gear, from the helmets to the gloves to the coats. And we have a sand pit, which is a huge hit. In the summer, we have a shade
Over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to help with
Sure.
the heat.
Because it gets pretty warm here in the summer.
Yeah. We have a boat, we have a playhouse, and there's a couple tractors around that kids can go in the field and tractor around. And
I love it.
we also have some misters too, which help
Sure.
in the summer.
And while the indoor space is very helpful when the weather's yucky, the outdoor space is great too. Not everybody has a big yard, and to be able to just go there and play and have so much to play on and with, really, really cool. So obviously the Children's Museum is, all about getting kids together, and it's about play. What's so important about playing?
So children of a young age and of any age work things out when they're playing. They solve problems together amongst each other, with themselves, with the equipment, the toys, and the museum is a safe place to do that. So, yes, we have mats and we have the rock climbing wall, but there is something special about being able to climb in a safe place, to work out how to get to the top to ring the bell, and how to climb up to, slide down the slide. And even in the kitchen area or other areas of the museum, at home, children can help you in the kitchen.
Sure.
But at the museum, they can play and work things out without that danger. So they can achieve and problem solve in a way that's safe and with other children of their age, or just other children of different ages, which I love. Because at the museum, you get to form friendships. You get to have the opportunity to meet other people, adults, children, in a place and everyone has the same goal. So they're working through and trying things and seeing what works and what doesn't. And the egg might not crack in the museum like it does at home,
Yes.
but they're still making the cake.
Yes. Yeah, that's really great. There's so much learning about how to do life through play.
Yes.
That's how we kind of figured out. I mean, they're in the kitchen pretending that they're, at
kitchen.
home, their mom or dad cooking, right? I
Right.
mean, that's what they're doing. They're in the kitchen cooking like they're big people.
Yeah.
And that's really, really fun for them. Or they're at the dentist office, in that room that's the dentist's office, and they can be pretending that they're the provider of that kind of care, and it's
Right.
super fun.
And that's so important to model and to prepare for life. Some children might have a fear about doctors.
Yeah.
So even if they're working with an animal, they can be that nurturer and, explain things or model scary things. And when you are faced with small scary things or small hard things, then big hard things aren't as hard because you can get through hard things.
Yes. Yeah, it's really true. That perseverance to just stick with it through. Just like your family coming across the country and starting in a new community.
Right.
And
You just got to do it.
You got to do it.
It's like how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Exactly. That's right. So, do you see yourself involved for a while?
I
with
do.
this?
Yeah. I have.
It's really important to our community.
I have some big goals, and I think the goals have to be large goals. Large goals need smaller goals
Yes.
along the way, and these benchmarks as it progresses. So unless you have continued leadership,
Yes.
it's hard to achieve larger goals when there's turnover.
That's important. Yeah, really great. Well, I'm thinking about how amazing your family is to come clear across the country and to jump right in. One of the ways to get connected to a community is to do exactly what you've done. Just get in there and volunteer and become part of what's going on. Really, really good way to interact. Well, I just appreciated chatting with you about this very much. Lots of fun.
Thank you.
I'm glad we had the time to do it. And right now I'm wishing my kids were small again so I could head right over to the museum. It's so fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Jen. Jen and Rob are a few of the many people in this community who invest in our children daily and have a passion for the next generation. They nurture the perseverance it takes to create beautiful communities like ours. It's so easy for us to take this for granted, yet we benefit in many ways from their work. We are blessed. In response, I've been thinking about the story of David and Goliath. What an example of perseverance. Can you imagine allowing your child to face a giant warrior with just a sling and stones? And yet David's faith in God and an unwavering determination to protect his community carried him to victory against all odds. It's a powerful reminder that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with faith, courage, and perseverance. A reminder that our children often lead us to remember things we've forgotten or ignored. I'm inspired to try out this newfangled playground equipment and stick to it until I've mastered it. This old dog is going to learn a new trick. And you, go try something new today. As Winston Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. So I'm going to go check it out. See you next time on another episode of Hometown.